Well, hello, boys and girls, and welcome back to Rotary Life. It's been many moons since our last installment. To recap, our gaze is now set on another 1985 FB Rx-7. Last fall, we dropped the 13B into it and put it away for hibernation. Now we can happily say it, the weather has passed and life may resume. The first thing we need to do is get a key for the car. I bought the car sight unseen, and when I got it, there was only one key for it, and it looked like something out of a Zelda game. Needless to say, it didn't work on any lock in the car. I thought no big deal, I'll get a serial number off the passenger side lock, call a company, and get a key made. So I went outside, removed the door card, discovered the previous owner had actually added sound deadening to the door, which is awesome. With the door card off, I pulled the lock out. Normally, the lock has a number on it that can be interpreted by a locksmith to reveal what kind of key the car needs. The red car had it, but as I pulled the lock out, no number. No worries, maybe when they painted the car, they switched the driver's and passenger's locks. So I removed the driver's door card, took off the lock, and pulled it out. Again, no number. The hatch lock? No dice. I was stuck. No key and no number to get a key made. While I pondered what to do, I decided to remove the rest of the tape around the hood. If you remember, the last owner wanted to V8 swap the car 5 years ago and started by taping off the hood to prevent any damage. He then let the tape sit on the car and bake in the Texas sun for 5 years. It was a joy to take off. I used the usual suspects of Tough Stuff, Goo Gone, liquid gel, and Bondo scrapers. If you're a paint person, avert your eyes now. I also received new outer window seals from Atkins Rotary, which were easily installed, and I made a guide on how to do so. That'll be linked down in the description below. Alright, back to the locks. I decided to go all the way and remove the locks from the red car and put them into the blue car. To remove the locks, there's a big metal clip and a small plastic clip holding them in on the doors. The ignition barrel is another story. In order to get them off, there are security screws. I used a Dremel to cut slits in the screws so a flathead could be used to unscrew them. I'll be making a step-by-step guide soon. Now to take the old one out of Violet. At this point, I was ready to cut the bolts, but of course, I had no more good cutting wheels. No worries, I ordered some on Amazon. 4 days later, I got my package, and they sent me a hose. I'm not kidding, they sent me a braided hose instead of Dremel cutting wheels. I don't know what's going on at Amazon, but it ain't good. So I hopped in the CX-5 and broke my quarantine to get more wheels. Of course, I went to the most essential business of all, Harbor Freight. The wheels I found said Chicago and Rotary, so I'm sure that they were perfect. It was odd seeing the new social distancing rules in effect at a store. Getting back to my car, I sanitized my hands and went back home. Upon arriving back at home, I noticed something that has always bothered me. The car has a GSL badge on the back. If you know about the car, it's not a GSL, it's a base model. So I figured now was a good time to take the badge off. Back inside the car, I had a new problem. I couldn't seem to fit the Dremel into the space between the steering column and the dash. I tried a couple of ways, but it didn't really work. So I went under the dash to try to find some more room, and I made a shocking discovery. Snakeskin. The car sat for about 5 years before I bought it, and the car is a Texas car, so I can't say I'm shocked as much as I was just startled. I have no idea how long it's been there, but I'm pretty sure Gerald is now dead. Yes, I named him Gerald the dashboard snake. Moving on, I decided to take the steering wheel off to try to get a better angle on the security screws. It helped a little, but not much. I also removed the actual ignition switch as well. This doesn't solve our issue because every FB has the same one of these. It's the outer keyhole that needs to come off. That's specific to the key. I also received a bunch of questions asking if the key was for the glove box. I hadn't thought of this, so I tried. Not even close. If you'd like to keep a more up-to-date record on what's happening with Violet, follow me on Instagram at FBZach. Don't forget it's spelled with a K. At this point, I was fed up with the security screws, and I knew that I was only going to damage more delicate plastic parts if I kept working on it in such a bad mood. So for now, we're going to have to leave it and come back with a better plan in another episode. However, having the steering wheel off gave me an idea. I want to upgrade the steering wheel, but I like the design of the stock wheel, so I began stripping Rose's wheel to start the refurbishing process. The reason I'm using Rose's wheel is because it has sentimental value to me. It doesn't really matter which wheel I refurbish, so it might as well be one that means something to me. I'm thinking of a suede exterior, but that's not set in stone. I want to go OEM Plus with this car. More on that later in the series. The last thing I wanted to do was clean the car. The dash work had made the driver's area filthy, so I took some time to bag up the bolts and vacuum. When it's running, the car will get a full detail, but this will satisfy for now. Not bad for a 15-year-old vacuum that looks like it's seen a war. I also found this fun thing in the bin behind the driver's seat, as well as some wiring for what looks like an amp or a sub, which explains what I found under the hood. Someone wanted this car to bump. The door cards are also staying off for now to prevent damage from tools, but the stock cards will be going back on eventually. After that, I called it quits for now. What I did do was run the Carfax, and I found out that our Texas car was actually a Washington car until 2001. So that's neat. Overall, I'm happy to be working on the car again. It seems like with every project, 3 more pop up, but that's just part of the Rotary life. For now, all the car's doors lock, and I'm happy with that. I'm also interested in hearing your feedback on this new style of Rotary life. Previous seasons have been more vlog-like, and I'm curious to see what style you prefer, so let me know. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys again in episode 2. Take care.